Okay, just one last little. Hopefully, this is short to add or kind of wrap up this court protection series I put together. Um, this package isn't complete. Okay, it doesn't have absolutely everything you would need to handle a court case or file a court case or defend yourself from a court case, but it gives you a lot of information, and as a good basis, you should be able to figure out more and more about the court system. And if you're taking this seriously, you probably got a situation you're trying to take care of, and it's probably a little scary, but it's 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 supposed to be scary. They're trying to scare you. Okay, and that kind of helps out realizing that they're not really operating in honor at all. They don't do things the right way. They just do them. So it helps out to see a little bit of the truth, because at first, the guilt they put on you when they start coming after you is really, really intense, and it's hard to see past it. It's really hard to see past it. It's very effective, but realizing that these guys are all playing games. They're playing fiat games. They're trying to trick you into paying money. That's really it. Yes, some courts sometimes take bad people off the streets. That's not very often. It's not the bulk of what they do. The bulk of what they do is harassing us and keeping us scared so that we're obedient. And that's the truth. Fear does two things. It makes people fight or flight. They get ready to fight and do stuff, or they get real obedient and just go along. And when you're the system set up that when they scare you and you react, they're really going to hurt you. They're really going to punish you, put you in jail or something. And so it is a game of peace. It is a game of not reacting, of just biding your time, being patient, and that's really paid off a lot for me, because I was freaking out when I first got kind of pulled into these courts, and I did some stuff that was reactionary. I didn't hurt nobody, but I sent off a bunch of stuff, kind of scared really, and obviously didn't do anything. But as you wait it out, and you see that they're really just trying to get you to react, there's a lot of power there. And what must be said is that this is a revolution. These are the bad guys. We are being occupied by another entity that we don't own or control. And they're telling us what to do, and they're telling us what we can't do, and they're not supposed to. All the suffering in the world, all the awfulness, all the crime, doesn't come from bad people, doesn't come from sinful people. It comes from people being tormented and tortured and terrorized and lied to and tricked and forced. And this is the element that's doing it. So if you can understand this stuff, you have to stand up. You got to push back. And I know a lot of you guys aren't criminals, so you're not, really involved in the courts. I wasn't involved in the courts either until I realized I was being lied to. And I started doing the right thing, and they didn't like it. But if I would have had this information up front, I'm pretty sure everything would have gone differently. There's the banks have no right to charge us anything, no interest. They only do it because we don't know what's going on. Okay, so if you have debt and you're paying a lot of debt and you're working a lot, doing stuff you don't want to do just to get that money, just so to pay that debt, you got to think about pushing back and doing what's right. You don't have to pay any of it. And once you understand what happens, okay, when anytime a bank sues you because you haven't paid, that's what they have to do. I just want you to know that first. If you stop paying anything, credit card, car loan, mortgage, if you realize that they've already been paid, they already got the real money, and they're just screwing you for the fiat, and you're like, okay, well, that's not fair. I'm not a slave. I'm not going to pay them anymore. And you stop paying it, someday they're going to come and sue you. All right? And it's going to be in these civil courts for these civil rules. So if you can handle your stuff in these civil courts, you can shut all that stuff down. Okay? And the more of us that do it, the quicker and faster the whole thing's going to change. These banks can't keep doing this. All right? And we need to push back. Even if we don't necessarily win, we got to push back. And that's, what I tried to share here is you don't even have to win. You can move all your assets into the private and then stand up to these banks or the IRS or even the state of Colorado and their taxes, because then they can't take anything from you. And if you can know how to process a complaint, how to defend it, how to work it, the banks don't have anything on their side. They just have the intimidation. They just have the front. There's no bona fide contract with them whatsoever. All they do is take your note, take your real money, your promise to pay. They take that. That's the real value. So now they're the ones that way ahead. And then per the Federal Reserve Act, they convert it and give you the cash. And the part where they make you pay it back is fraud. It's a lie. It's a trick. They got the value. They give you value back. Everything's fine. But to keep paying and keep making you pay and to hit you with these credit scores, it's psychological brainwashing. It's evil. They're messing with you. So whether you stop paying or you try to sue them first, this is an area where we can get involved, okay? The courts are not that difficult. They're really not. Once you see past the lies and you see how these lawyers lie, and they're really good at it, I still get caught up in it. You go to a lawyer because you're in trouble, because you need something, all right? And you don't know anything. That's a ripe environment for a fraud. When you're needy, you're desperate, you're emotionally connected, and you don't know much about it. They can do whatever they want, and they do. They lie to your face every time. Sorry, I'm getting a little worked up, but you don't have to hire a lawyer. You don't have to go into court. You don't have to participate at all. You don't. But the liar's never going to tell you that. The lawyer's never going to tell you that. So, this is it. This is the last one. Again, I really appreciate you guys checking this out. I put a lot of effort into this. This has really been kind of the culmination of several years of researching and studying and trying things out. So, yeah, thanks again. Reach out if you need help. I'm here to help. You guys have a great day.